Okay, hello everyone. It's Fluffy with another Global League replay commentary. Uh, Not sure how many of you enjoyed that out of season joke last time, but let's continue on. This map is a River Supreme. It's the same map I played against Grim Alt, but this is an actual game now. It's tier 2. I pick Eagle because of course I pick Eagle. And my opponent also picks Eagle. Starts off with infantry. Okay. Capture turn 1 property to the left. I'm gonna just slide this over. I captured this property first because it's closer towards the center. I can always get these properties anyway. And I go for my airport. My reasoning is it's still 2 turns to capture after this airport. Like I have to go 1 turn here, then another turn, or 1 turn, then another turn. So if I capture this property first, it's still 1 turn, then 2 turns. So that was my reasoning. And perhaps I'm just a little hesitant to capture this property right here, because it hasn't exactly... Historically, when I play on this map, on this, which is only like 3 times, I think. Or is it 4 times? Don't remember. But I usually, if I'm playing as player 2, I usually struggle taking this property. But that's just my experience with this map. My opponent goes for the center one first, instead of the airport. So, continue our capture game. No need to capture the comm tower just yet, we're not fighting anytime soon. Go for the back property because it doesn't take very long to walk there. Hello, Archaic. Yeah, you can lurk. Oh, right, yeah, I almost forgot. You know, I'll do it for next game. Alright, so my opponent starts with a tank opener. I choose to go for a battlecopter opener simply because, well, battlecopters beat tanks, of course, but also because if I wanted a tank in the center, I would use my center base, well, my base that's closer towards the center of the map. And if I'm building a tank next turn, my battlecopter and my tank would arrive at the battlefield approximately the same time. And I guess because I didn't... That's actually a... That's actually a pretty good capture order, I have to admit that. Probably should have thought of that. But we're getting our vehicles out now, which means it's time to capture the comm tower. And I build a tank, because I need something to deal with that anti-air. Right, we both... he moves in. I see that this property is being threatened. I probably could have applied more pressure if I went with a tank opening instead. I decide to just go in and attack this one. Unfortunately, my tank can't exactly make it in time, so maybe the battlecopter opening was not as good as I initially thought. But you only learn these things when you actually try them out. Kills my infantry and begins capturing the property. So, I think the opening, yeah, and I can't actually reach that anti-air simply because I built the tank second. Or maybe actually, perhaps I could have sent my, built the first tank I built here so that it could defend this bottom side. Perhaps. But maybe getting that first tank instead of a battlecopter to get some, because I'm losing a lot of tempo here by like foregoing the first tank and going for a battlecopter, which will take longer. So I put my battlecopter in anti-air here just to defend this infantry. I got the movement to cover it. And of course I retreat my infantry here because my tanks aren't in the battle just yet. And once again, I don't pay enough attention and lose another infantry to that anti-air because I don't have enough tanks to cover it. Alright, this actually surprised me a little. My opponent goes for my capping infantry. Oh, I just realized something. I could probably boop, boop. There, that looks much better now. Just switching the sides so we're facing against each other. But he interrupts the capture with a tank, and I think, alright, battlecopter, anti-air. I get rid of his tank, and now my anti-air is pretty much uncontested here. There is still a lot of infantry, but I'm hoping maybe I can try to pick some off. And I continue pushing this anti-air back, and bringing a battlecopter just to make it harder on enemy tanks to approach. I mean, it's only one anti-air. If I destroy that anti-air, then my battlecopters can control the bottom. But my opponent goes in anyway, destroys the battlecopter, and because he's been picking off my infantry, whereas I'm unable to pick off his infantry, he's ahead on his unit count, and he's going to capitalize on it right here. As much as I want my anti-air to shoot the healthy battlecopter, it can only shoot at the injured one right now, simply because he has enough infantry to block every other path of my anti-air. And I believe this is the turn where I made my where I made an inaccuracy in my play. I probably should have kept pushing forward because he has the infantry up here, which is why he's comfortable attacking. But I also have the infantry advantage down at the bottom. I perhaps could have just kept trying to push the bottom, squish that anti-air, and just, you know, if I'm losing on one side, I could try to win on the other side. That, like, maybe play like that. But instead, I choose to start shifting my units up, maybe trying to like squish the infantry with my vehicles. Unfortunately, that's where his base zones of controls are. It's much easier for him to reinforce up here than it is for me to reinforce. So I move my infantry in just to maybe not let his infantry wall off my anti-air, but he gets it anyway by canceling his capture. So my anti-air still can't shoot at the healthy battlecopter, and with his tank in the way, I actually need to start pulling back my anti-air. I continue shifting my units up, and then I leave another infantry outside of the protection of my tank. So that's another infantry that's going to be shot by the anti-air. It's like, people might not think one infantry is good, like it's gonna matter much, but it builds up. Like, infantry is like your blood. If you lose them, you will slowly bleed out, little by little. And when you don't got the infantry, that's when they start breaking the structure of your army. So, losing a lot of infantry here, because of these mountains, it creates a amazing wall. I can't break through that. At least not without pushing into one turn from his base. And we all know you don't want to fight one turn within their base unless you're winning with an overwhelming amount, of which I'm not. So, but I decide since I'm already shifting up, I might as well commit to it. I protect my anti-air by placing battlecopters in the way. Then I decide to start creating a wall back down here. So we're in a little bit of a standoff. He starts capturing properties because he can. I'm not in any position to do the same. And this is just an amazing wall. I can't really break through because he has all that infantry. I decide to just interrupt the capture. I got my medium tank first. Maybe, hopefully that will come into play with making wall breaks somewhere. He continues capturing my properties, continues capturing the neutral properties, and it's just, what can I really do with all that infantry? Vehicles can only buy space. It's infantry that applies the pressure. Like if he had no infantry and just got a lot more vehicles, I can just ignore those vehicles. They're not threatening anything. But with all this infantry, I have to respond or surrender these properties, which neither of them are good for me. It's one of those situations where you can make the safe play and still be winning. That's how you know you've won. So he's playing very safely, just staying within his wall, not attacking me or anything, and yet he's winning because he got the infantry to capture those properties. So that's how you know you're in a losing position. And if this continues to stalemate, I know I will lose. So, tactics brain. I need to find an attack somewhere. And I do find one little weakness in the line. It's not a good attack, but it's the best one I have in my position. These two infantry are the only infantries my anti-air can one-shot. So I create a little bit of a gap of which I can start breaking the lines by attacking from multiple directions. So alright, I just need to start breaking a bunch of stuff, and he has a very powerful counterattack if he wanted to. And hopefully with enough engagements I will get my lightning strike first, at least I'm hoping for that. I mean, that's how eagle mirrors tend to go. But he just continues capturing. And this move actually surprised me. He retreats. I thought, why? You have the income advantage. You have the numbers advantage. Why would you give me a temporary vehicle advantage? Because now I have more vehicles. That's what I thought. So I continue, alright, this area looks weak, might as well pick them off. I need to start capturing properties back to not be too far behind in income. And since he's retreating here, maybe I can start squishing this army here as well. Like, just break them down little by little. I continue smashing his infantry up there. And I maintain a wall over here. Like, not a wall, but like a blob of units. So while I'm looking at this, I'm feeling pretty confident. I think I can pretty safely destroy this army down here. I can destroy this anti-air and then recapture all of these properties eventually. I do have one infantry and a tank here to block, to wall any opposing units from interrupting my capture. So I'm feeling a little confident. Oh, that's why he retreated. He got the property victory conditions. You have an income of 22,000, you instantly win on this map. So that was why he retreated. He didn't want to give me lightning strike, which would have allowed me to interrupt this capture. And this would make it the second time I lost to property capture victory condition. So it's I do need to pay attention to it more often. Many times I think eventually I will make a counter attack, but I have to make sure I don't lose before I'm able to make a comeback here. I'm beginning my attack because I have to, but it's just too little too late, and I wasn't paying attention to the property condition. But that was this game. I did learn quite a bit about having to not give up the initiative and control the center. I'm playing as player 2, so I should get the first tank, and I should try to control as much, buy as much space as I can early on. But I'm bad at making aggressive stances because I'm a coward. But that was this game.